So when you're interacting with these chimps, is there ever a moment where the chimp tries to engage with the humans?
No, but there are occasionally individuals. Like I say, they're all individuals. So saying anything about the chimps do this or they don't do that, we're really generalizing. There are occasionally individual chimps who, even if they don't, they're not a threat to you, they are showing a level of interest that is different to others. And there's a chimp called Rich Burgle, the chimp, who's one of our focal characters in the West, and he's always been very comfortable near human. Because usually the chimps, they have that a little bit of a tiny bit of residual fear of humans, and I think that's what makes them quite comfortable of that distance as well. They're okay if you come there, but they actually don't want to be any closer. That 7 to 10 meter rule suits them too. Generally, that's a comfortable distance, but I don't want you. It's as if the chimps they don't really want you coming sitting next to them. That's not okay. So, and I don't know whether that's just what they like or whether they're used to it because over the years that is the distance that the scientists have kept or whatever. But you do get some chimps that decide to come closer. Yeah, and Rich Burgle is one of those chimps. He orphaned at a young age, very well habituated, no fear of humans whatsoever. He's never made contact, but I think everybody who works with him would say, he's the one that will come and sit a little closer or will walk towards you and then at the very last minute veer off. And he's just kind of curious in a way that the others aren't.
Now, when the chimps are on patrol, that's a uniquely intense and aggressive moment, and it's so wild to watch. To see them, these hulking chimpanzees, move through the forest in coordination. When you're there with that and you're very close to these violent encounters with the other chimps, is there any concern there that you could get caught up in this sort of violent frenzy and maybe be in danger of being attacked? Or
there isn't actually. And that I mean the what let me rephrase that. I would say on a personal level, of course, right? You hear about these things happening, it's a possibility, we'll be there when it happens and when it's filmed. So we ask exactly the same questions. So this is, I've been through the exact same process as you are now and had this conversation with the scientists, are we going to be safe?
Right.
Is it safe for us where should we be or where should we not be if this happens when we're there? So totally, we had exactly the same questions and we just didn't know. And we were reassured by the scientists, you'll be amazed. Wow. If you see those things, they will happen, but they will ignore you. And their only warning was that definitely don't get too close. Because the level of excitement around the chimps during these encounters, if there's ever a time when they could accidentally come very close to you or suddenly see you and get a bit of a fright, they wouldn't want to take that sort of a risk with us. So they did. We were warned, keep a respectful distance from that. But amazingly, and there's a little behind the scenes clip that we've sort of released on YouTube now, and you can see that during the biggest encounter that we filmed, the camera people were sort of in it and around it, and sort of at one stage sort of accidentally between the two groups as they were sort of standing off. And that the certain way, the chimps move so fast and they reorganize, separate or whatever, so you can try and be in the perfect position, But then that perfect position could quickly become where you don't want to be because of where the chimps have gone. So through no fault of their own, there are times when they're in there, sort of. It's a bit like being a war reporter or something. But weirdly, they're so focused on what it is they're doing and have no interest in sort of involving or redirecting their aggression to the humans at all. Wow. I think, because of, there are some quite high profile and sort of like pretty tragic sort of human chimp interactions, aren't there? In
Ngogo?
No, I mean sort of like things that have happened at zoos or whatever. And I think that it does give a sort of an unusual impression of what chimps are like in the wild. They have all that sort of capability, and more so, the Ngogo chimps. There's so many of them, and they are engaged in these sort of violent competitions with other groups. That's a very real thing, and it can get serious, but their relationship with people is just completely different to a relationship chimps might have with people in captivity, or if they've been kept as pets or something. It's not. I totally get it, and those are exactly the sort of things I wanted to know before I stepped in and go. Well, I mean,
for sure.
You need to know. But amazingly, when you've been there around it, and even once you've just been on a single patrol with them, actually, and they are exhilarating. When you go on patrol with Ngogo chimps, it's amazing. They are taking you on a journey to the edge of their border, and they're fully committed and they're coordinated, and
they don't seem to care that you're following them.
And they're allowing you to sort of be there.
That's amazing.
I don't think animals have an ego. They have a sense of fair, though. Animals have a sense of, some animals do at least, chimps do. One of the reasons why chimps attack people is because if people give something to someone else and they don't give it to them, they have a real sense of fairness. Wow. Yeah, there's a famous story of this guy who had a pet chimp, and then the thing about chimps is you can keep them when they're young, and then they get older, and it's like a man, but a man that's 5 times stronger than you, and like, why is he going to listen to you? He's not going to listen to you. So I think he started biting off fingers. It's one of the things that chimps do. When chimps get mad at you, they bite off your finger. Yeah, just to let you know, they're the boss. Like, they don't give a fuck if you're injured. They have no remorse, right? And they're intelligent. So you have this thing that's not a dog. It's not a person. It's this weird in-between thing. It's an animal, but it's also intelligent. And so when you do something for someone else, but you don't do something for them, they get rage, like horrific rage. So this guy gets rid of this chimp, brings it to a shelter. The shelter takes it in. And he goes to visit it every year. And the chimp goes to see him like, oh, my friend, I miss you. Why can't I come home? But he can't come home ever because he would just take over the house, right? Because he's a grown chimp. They don't castrate chimps the way they castrate dogs. Like when you castrate a dog, like everybody, it's standard. People think it's good. Oh, did you get your dog neutered? Yeah, I did. And you want your dog to have no testosterone. You want your dog to have no balls. But then it becomes a different thing. Right. Then it's like tired and like have you ever seen a dog get snipped? I had one of my dogs get snipped when it was 5 years old. He was just too aggressive. Right. And so someone talked me into it. And then when I got him snipped, all of a sudden he was just tired all the time. He was lazy. And I realized he didn't have any testosterone anymore. It's all gone. I'm like, wow. Like, so the dog's a different dog now. So you can't do that to chimps. For whatever reason, you can't do that to chimps.
You can't neuter a chimp.
So this guy goes to visit the chimp and he brings a birthday cake. Happy birthday, buddy. And the other chimps that are in cages right next to it are like, this motherfucker didn't bring me a cake? I can't believe this shit. So they figure out a way to get out. And they got out and they attacked the man and they tore him apart. They tore his face off. They tore his dick off. They tore his feet off. They bit his fingers off. It's one of the most horrific, cruel attacks you'll ever hear of because they did it to try to take away from him the things he wants and needs. Like chimps recognize you need your fingers in order to do things. You need your face in order to see. You need your dick in order to fuck. So that's the things they go after.
Fucking assholes.
They don't just try to kill you. They try to take away what it means to be a human. So if you try to hide your hands, they'll pull your hands away from 'em and open them up and bite them off like crazy with a rage-filled look in their eye. And they don't communicate with language, so they only have this sense in their head of what's fair and what's not fair and what you've done to them. So if you do something that makes them jealous, they think immediately you've done something bad to them. They don't think that, no, I just gave my friend a cake. You made them feel bad, so it's you. You made them feel bad, so they go right after you. It's like a sort of a, it's an interesting study in the way sometimes people look at things. Like, we've all been jealous, right? You've been jealous of someone. You see someone who's doing something well and you go, oh, I wish I was that guy. But you don't go attack that person, right? People recognize, like, it's not his fault that I feel bad that he has this Corvette. I have to just, I just got to appreciate the guy's hustle. Guy's out there kicking ass. All right, I got to get my shit together. But there's a thing that we have initially, especially when they're children. We feel angry, like you feel upset, like you feel like you've been shorted, like someone's, oh, why didn't I get that? This is bullshit. He gets it and I don't. It's a fascinating part of humans. And then humans, as we get older and more sophisticated with language, but still carry the same childish emotions, we find reasons to be upset at someone for being successful. We find reasons. Eat the rich. We find these weird little ways that we can justify our jealousy or our anger or our disdain for those who are more successful than we. So it's like we're coming up with complicated, sophisticated ways to justify these primal behaviors that chimps exhibit in just violent rage. So this guy, it's a famous case. Like this, you can see the pictures if you want to see the pictures.
Of the cake guy?
Of the guy who got his face ripped apart and fingers bitten off.
Right.
And he was in
I'd
hospital.
love to. That sounds great. Do you think that
Folks
this guy...
Folks at home, prepare. Don't show it on the screen because it's rough. But Tony needs to see this before you go give a tramp a cake.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
This is
wow.
No nose. See how he bit his nose off?
God.
Yeah. Look at his face.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He was conscious, they said, after this happened.
Oh, yeah, of course. Look at see his right hand, the fingers bitten off. Wow. That's what they do. They bite off your fingers. That's the chimp right there. Click on the chimp in the right-hand corner. That's his chimp.
Come on. What's in that picture?
What is that picture?
I'm surprised he let him keep his ears.
Oh, that's the guy's face, Jamie. That's what that is. Whoa. He's got a trach because he can't breathe out of his mouth. Yeah. Whoa. Well, I mean, I don't think that, the chimps exactly know the human anatomy all that well, but they know what's important to you. Your face, your fingers.
Fucking hell.
Tore this guy apart.
So if he would have brought pieces of cake and given them to all the chimps in all the cages,
they would all be happy. Right. Yeah, but they're also angry that they're captive. So when they get captive, look, being captive for a chimp is probably a similar feeling as to what it would be to be captive as a person, right? If you see a chimp at the zoo and they're in this big containment, and they all these monkey bars and stuff they could hang on, but there's a bunch of people staring at them. Like all day long, people are staring at you through glass, and there's a ceiling, right? There's a net over the top, so you can't go over the top, and there's fences, and you're just like, fuck. Every day is boring. Nothing happens. Nothing happens every day. There's no lions. There's no fruit to go pick. There's no places to go journey to explore. Like chimps travel around, man. They don't just sit in one particular 100-yard area for the rest of their life, and it's not even 100 yards, right? If you go to the LA Zoo. You ever see how small that enclosure is?
Yeah.
I went to the LA Zoo once, really high, like on an edible.
Yeah.
And I wrote a piece on my website called The Animal Prison. And I was like, because it made me feel I could, because, when you're really fucking super baked, you're sensitive to everything.
Yeah.
But just, I recognize how, instead of thinking about myself and thinking about, I'm going to go to the zoo and see the monkeys. I went there and I immediately felt sadness. I was like, oh no, these poor creatures. Yeah. Like they don't want to be here. Like, what are we doing? Like, we can't do this. I was thinking like, I got to get out of here.
It's true. No, you're right. And it's very bizarre. Same thing with SeaWorld. Same thing with all those places.
Oh, SeaWorld's worse.
Yeah.
Because they're as smart as us, if not smarter.
Yeah.
We don't even really know how smart orcas are, right? Or dolphins, because we put them in these weird categories like How much emails do they send? Do they make houses? No, they must be stupid. But they have a cerebral cortex that's 40% larger than ours. We don't know how smart they are. They also communicate. They have a weird, sophisticated language that we can't decipher. We can't decipher it. We don't know what their language is. They've been able to recognize specific accents. So they know there's there's a Southern accent and a Cleveland accent. There's a Chicago accent. Orcas have accents. Like, we can tell this by the sound, oh, this is an orca from Alaska, or this is an orca from Seattle.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's fucking nuts, man.
Meanwhile, we put them in a swimming pool. A fucking swimming pool.
It's so sad how their fin droops once they get depressed.
It's not that they get depressed. They don't use it. It atrophies. It's like an arm that you don't pick anything up with. It just gets limp. Episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience are now free on Spotify. That's right, they're free. From September 1st to December 1st, they're going to be available everywhere. But after December 1st, they will only be available on Spotify, but they will be free. That includes the video. The video will also be there. It'll also be free. That's all we're asking. Just go download Spotify. Much love. Bye-bye.